Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Air Movement Fabrications, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist, an official partner with Primetime Racing TV. Welcome race fans back to Primetime Racing TV, here again with the Hardline Racing League, live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Joining me in the booth once again tonight is Corey Silva and Evan Black, and once again we are ready for an awesome show here from Indy.
Another day, as Brandon said, at the Brickyard. We brought you the Contender Series and the Xfinity Machines Wednesday night. As usual, we bring you the big brothers, the Cup cars, here tonight for 100 laps, and qualifying is underway.
Yeah, right now Wednesday night's winner, Cole Bagunia, is on the provisional pole.
The usual favorites all here. We have Cole Bagunia, we have Thomas Bressi, Joshua Adams, we have
Justin Johnson.
Justin Johnson here. Remember, he won last week. Briar LaPrade. So all the favorites you've known to Tyler Hensley. All the favorites you've learned with the Hardline Racing Series here.
Cole Bagunia bumped off of the pole position right now by Shane Tarrant. Good lap by Shane. Everyone else from Shane on back is very close at times.
Shane Tarrant to the top of the board with a 776, so about a half-tenth on the field. Let's see who's still out there turning laps. We have Joshua Adams on the back straightaway here. Remember, Adams nearly swept the weekend at Charlotte last week. Not quite, didn't have enough at the end to catch Johnson for the win. See what he can do here today. Well, only 6th on the board.
He did run a little bit quicker than he did in practice.
50 seconds left on the track. Still have a couple drivers out there. Jordan Pauly in the 19, about to take his first lap.
'11th.
11th on the board. We have Briar LaPrade coming to the stripe. It should be a good time from him, we assume.
8th. But he didn't get any practice.
Joel Holloway coming through 3 and 4.
Into the wall. So Holloway will not put a lap down.
And Dustin Johnson, I don't know if he's going to have enough time. He's coming off of 4 right now. Nope. So that'll wrap it up. And we will get to you, the Primetime Racing TV starting lineup here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. On the pole today is going to be Shane Tarrant with a 50.776. Into the outside, Cole Begunia. In the third spot is Nick Massey with Tanner Allen to the outside. Bressie and Wall will share the third row. Then we have Joshua Adams, Briar LaPrade, Robert Kenny, and Rusty Capel, the top 10.
Then we have Kyle Zimmer in 11th, Jordan Pauly in 12th, and then Cody Tabor, Dustin Johnson, Chuck Sweeting, Kyle Souza, Casey Shue, Sean Dower, Tyler Hensley, Joe Holloway, and then Travis Lonis run out the field in 21st.
There you go, Brandy. You lucked out. You didn't have to do any grid work today.
Yeah, we're not. I didn't want to give you just one guy to say. Might as well just say that one last driver.
Oh.
This stage will be ending tonight on lap 25, coming to 26 in this 100-lapper event. And 75% fuel limit. So Corey, what do you think fuel window will be?
Oh God, why do you do this to me every week?
Because I know you don't want me to.
What did we get in the Xfinity cars?
That was 2 nights ago. I don't remember that back that far.
Well, that Xfinity car also with the 25%. I believe it was around 25 laps, but I'm pretty confident a Cup car is about 40 laps here, maybe 43 on a full load. So I'm gonna go with 30. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today and everybody that is in chat.
So, race details today. 100 laps here around Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
250 miles around this place. Should be a good race, Indy. We saw a lot of dynamics come into play on Wednesday night where the outside over the course of a run, it wouldn't necessarily be the preferred groove, but it almost made it impossible to pass later in the run because you could really hang your momentum up there.
Weather today is partly cloudy, 78 degrees, track temp at 105, and winds 2 miles an hour to the north, so shouldn't play any big challenge to the drivers here today.
Yeah, I was turning some laps earlier, and it's a lot like the Xfinity cars. It is really, really tight unless you get your left sides right on that apron. If you can do that, it'll turn pretty good.
So for the first time tonight, these guys stacked up, doubled up, ready to take the green flag, and think they're ready to get on the loud pedal here already, getting anxious.
And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the rule still applies. The leader can go at his discretion, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So remember, that is quite a large zone here of discretion at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So we will see when Shane Tarrant does decide to get this race underway. Pace car is in, and he has the moment to decide. He's waiting. Green flag at the air. Tarrant is on the loud pedal, and this race is underway.
The leader got a good jump here on the rest of the field. The 38 of Tarrant is holding his ground, but now the 48 ducking to the inside of Begunia.
Yeah, Begunia is in that second groove, which usually does not work, but he managed to clear the 48 of Massey.
As we said, remember the outside, it can hold its momentum under the right circumstances pretty early in the race, but it did seem to work. That clears out a little bit further back. We have a good battle going on with the one of Jonathan Wall, Tanner Allen, and Briar LaPrade behind him. He's very out of the groove there. Yeah, very, almost in the third lane. That is not going to work here.
Brad's going for 6th.
And don't look now, here comes the 88 machine of Joshua Adams trying to make up some ground on these guys. He's going to try to maybe look to the inside of, I believe that's his,
and some three wide going on behind that.
Rusty Cable makes a wise move and backs out of that.
Adams side by side with the Pratt, drifts up the track just a little bit, almost loses some ground, car to the wall behind him. They keep it clean and green. LaPrade holding his ground on the outside.
It's the 10 of Robert Kinney that hit the wall. Didn't hit it too hard.
Single file for the most part throughout the field, and don't look now. Thomas Bresci up front of this thing already, trying to hold his ground, trying to gain on the guys in front of him, and he's running top 5 right now. Good run for him so far at the beginning of this race.
Yeah, one thing to note, guys, is with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, with the Cup cars, tire wear comes more into play with the Cup cars than the Xfinity cars, so we'll see if any drivers are pushing the stuff a little early. We'll see how tire wear does play out in this run. Looks like a couple drivers already getting loose there. We saw Joshua Adams really sliding it off a 2 there. I don't know if that's a note of what's to come for most of these drivers, or if he's just driving a little aggressively right now.
Begunia is starting to catch Tarrant a little bit. He was about a tenth or so quicker than Tarrant last lap.
And he's not just coming by himself, he's bringing Nick Massey, and as we saw, Thomas Bresci is sniffing to the back of this pack here. Bresci almost on the wall there, really giving it his all off 4, but the leaders are coming back together here as we take lap 4.
One thing that we should notice, Evan talked about the track being a little bit tight here tonight, and if these guys try to crank the wheel and it could get this thing to snap loose on exit, that's one thing these guys really have to watch out for.
Yeah, that's a good point, Brandon. If you are tight, it's natural just to put more wheel into it, and then coming off the corner, it can snap around on you.
See Tarrant here down the back straightaway. The back straightaway here is 5/8 of a mile, as is the front stretch. A long straightaway. Draft comes into play. He was trying to break it, weaving down the straightaway. Didn't really work, because here comes Begunia gaining time through the 3 and 4 chute.
Begunia a lot faster through the corners right now than the 38 machine of Tarrant. He's making up a lot of ground, and a lot of ground has been made off of turn number 4.
Tarrant got really high out of 4. I don't know if he had to lift or not.
And you can see Massey dropping off the back of these guys just a little bit.
Yeah, Massey starting to lose some ground. It looks like he's getting really loose on exit, and the 88 machine of Joshua Adams also is falling back from the back bumper of the 48 machine of Massey. Meanwhile, back up front, Begunia has a huge run down the back straightaway. He looks to the inside. They're side by side going into turn number 3.
Yeah, Tarrant got really loose out of 2, and that allowed Begunia to get up next to him in a clear in 3.
But Tarrant
right up trying to do a crossover.
He's going to maybe look to the inside. No, he's content riding the back bumper of the 7 machine. Begunia will lead this lap.
In some circumstances, guys, it almost is easier running behind in second. You have a different set of break points, different set of turn references. Sometimes it's easier to run in behind than lead. Sometimes. Yeah.
That's a good point, it is.
So battle for the lead has settled down a little bit, and take a look through the field. Everyone single file for the most part here, and these guys just riding here at the beginning of this thing, and it looks like Cody Tabor is already out of this thing. Very beat up race car for him.
I have the technology. We can actually see what happened to him now.
It looks like he tried to side draft the wall down the straightaway.
What?
Side draft the wall?
That's a thing?
He was just on the straightaway and then went to the veered to the right. He was about halfway down the back and veered to the right. I guess he was just trying to side draft the wall.
That's...
Oh, wow. How does that happen?
We didn't understand what you said, Evan, and now we understand it.
Yeah, now we get it. So unfortunate break for Cody Tabor, and good looking ride for him until that happened. And
we go on board here for a little bit, kind of watch Begunia as he does navigate the 4 turns here at Indianapolis. See down the back straightaway, he goes into turn 3. He didn't really hit that turn the way he would have wanted to, a little bit higher than he probably intended. But as he goes through 3 and 4, you can see that's what you want to do. You want to get those left sides inside of the white line, but above the rumble strip. That is the sweet spot.
Yeah, Taryn's really starting to fall back. He's falling back into the hands of Massey now. Looks like he's getting really loose off the corners.
Bressie coming to the back here of Nick Massey here. Massey did not get a good run off of 2 that time. Bressie gets a little bit of a run. He won't have a run this time by, but we'll see what he can do down the front straightaway. See, Bressie really did hit the line there. He got the left sides, as we said, that little bit of 1 foot gap between the rumble strip and the white line. That is where you want to aim those left side tires. Bressie nailed it. He will get as close as he's been yet to Nick Massey.
Bressie with a good run down the front straightaway. Kevy get anything done through the corners here. That's where he seems to be better, backing it off a little bit earlier, getting all the way down to the bottom, and he's got another good run coming off the turn number 1.
The surge he had there through the chute off of 1 was huge, kind of crossed him over, and here he comes looking underneath off of 2. Massey almost got into the wall, but Bressie didn't have enough yet.
Yeah, Bressie had to lift. I think he was a little worried the 40 was going to hit the wall and come down into him.
Bressie decided instead of diving under the 48 machine, he's going to push him down the straightaway. Now Massey slides way up the racetrack into turn number 3.
Looks like Massey is getting really, really tight. He just cannot get down to the bottom.
Bressie's playing it really smart. He's backing way off before the corner and getting a really good run on exit, and that's exactly what you have to do in these conditions.
You can see here we're on board with Bressie. Again, he's hitting that line. Massey got a pretty good run, but watch him wheel it off of the turns here. Really turn it to the right, having to correct it. So he's obviously fighting that race car, but he's doing a good job of it.
Down to the back straightaway now, the long back straightaway here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Bressie didn't get as good of a run off that corner as he'd like, but he's still holding right to the back bumper of the 48.
Bressie is getting really good runs out of 1 and 3, which those are not the places you really want to get them because it's just the short chute. You'd rather get them out of 2 and 4.
You can really see on some of the cameras we're showing him both of them in the wall.
Bressie into the wall just a little bit. Killed his momentum a little bit. He didn't lose any ground, but he didn't get anything from that run.
Another battle a little bit further back in the pack. Right now, Tanner Allen, Jonathan Wall in a similar sort of battle. This is for, however, the 7th position. You can see here the same kind of situation. One of them might hit the apex 1 line and 1 turn, and the next person hits it the next time. But here comes Bressie. Finally has a run side by side.
Yeah, Massey's just going to let him go, and that's a smart call by the 48.
So Thomas Bressie will take over that position going into turn number 3, and now down the short chute, he, yeah, like you said, Evan, as he misses his mark that time by, but Bressie just gets the better run in the wrong places. But I give him credit. It's really hard to get runs on exit throughout those 2 corners.
It is, as you said, Brandon. A lot of times you will get the run off of 1. You will get the run off of 3. But it does absolutely nothing for you. You don't have enough time to make that move to drive underneath, you really just have to sit back in line and pray you can get the run on off of 2 or 4.
Brandon, there's a fellow Stuart Friesen fan in the chat. There's actually 2 Stuart Friesen fans. Fans didn't know that.
What's a Fran?
Not quite sure.
Casey Shu looking to the inside of Robert Kenny here, entering turn 3 simultaneously. Rusty Capel looks to the inside of Jordan Pauly for a position. But Robert Kenny is not giving up yet. He's going underneath Casey Shu again off of 4. These guys duking it out for the 12th position. See, entering 1 here. If Shu tries to hold it on the outside, nope, he will relinquish the spot to Robert Kenny. Move Kenny up into 12th position, who will now set his target onto the 19 of Jordan Pauly. See, Kenny did not get a good run through 2 at all that time. Was about a lane and a half above where he wanted to be. That allowed Pauly to pull away.
Taryn has caught Begunia. He's making a run in turn number 4.
And he's also brought Thomas Bressie with him here. Bressie's got to go to the outside.
Taryn got on the rumble strips.
Really
He's pitting.
Loose off that corner. He's going to pull it down into pit road now.
And he's bringing somebody with him. He's bringing Joshua Adams with him.
They are teammates, I do believe.
Yeah, you can see with the similar paint schemes here. Only on lap 14. That is much earlier than I think any of us in the booth here expected. Maybe the tires just fell off that bad. Maybe they just burnt them off enough that they just warranted needing to pit this early.
Well, it's a team strategy since they're the only 2 that did it.
But what is that going to do to everybody else? Is that going to make Begunia, Bressie, Massey, LaPrade even? Is that going to make them wonder what to do, having the 2nd place driver bring it to pit road early?
It's a huge mind game.
It's going to make you think.
Sure. Yeah, it's a huge mind game for sure.
Here comes Begunia.
Now Begunia making his entrance to pit road.
And he's going to be all in down there.
Are tires that important?
Well, I could tell you right now, Thomas Bressie's last lap was a 53.29, well, essentially a 53.3. His best lap was a 51.2, so he's already 2.2 seconds off of his best lap.
Yeah, Begunia's best lap was a 51 flat, and he just ran a 53.4.
So 2 seconds a lap. Now let's say they run the fuel load out. That would be what we're assuming to be 30 laps. 15 laps at 2 seconds lap. He's going to lose 30 seconds on track to the guys who pitted. So you'd have to play that whole game out over the course of the race. Which strategy's better off? And I don't know. So that's why we have to keep watching.
So Begunia making his way out of pit road now, and yeah, we'll see what strategy some of these other guys play on the racetrack.
You can see Begunia, as he exited the pits, you have to follow the access road off of 1 and 2. But you can kind of play with it a little bit in the middle of the chute there, kind of sneak on the racetrack, give you that better run off of the turn 2 access road, as Begunia did.
All about keeping momentum even on that access road for sure.
So clean and green here for the first 15 and a half laps here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Hardline Racing Cup Series live here on Primetime Racing TV. Again, in the booth today is Evan Black, Corey Silva, and Brandon Krutz bringing you the action here. And we're presenting to you what seems to be a pretty clean and green race. It doesn't really have a vibe of the yellow flag interrupting us all too often today. So I think it's going to turn into a green flag strategy pit stop race.
That's usually how Indy works out, even in real life. This track usually it doesn't produce a whole lot of side-by-side racing, so there's not a whole lot of chance for cautions.
Going back here in the pack right now to about the 8th position, we have Rusty Capel under fire from Robert Kenny. Again, Casey Shu right behind that battle, and then right behind that was Sean Dower. So 4 cars under a blanket here. right now. Casey Shue side by side, well, was side by side with Rusty Capel. And look at these guys in 3, and they all missed turn 3 there.
Yeah, with these tires, it is so hard to get to that bottom.
That was very interesting. Here comes Casey Shue down pit road, but I have never seen that. All 4 drivers were at least 2 lanes up off of where they should have been. But Thomas Bressie still chugging out here on track. I'm going to have to imagine he's going to go for the fuel load.
Yeah, he's got to go as far as he can.
At this point, you've kind of made your bed. If you pit, let's say right now, you're not really gaining much. You've kind of, you've run 4 laps longer than Bagunia and company. You'd end up losing at that, and he has to play this out and play that alternate strategy. Can say Briar LaPrade is actually faster right now. Well, actually not that last time by, but he's running comparable times to Bressie right now. Just has that little bit of gap that he has to eliminate first.
Yeah, he's only got 1.2 seconds, so it's not a huge gap from him to the leader.
I want to give a shout out. I've given him a shout out for GOM1600 in chat. Very loyal subscriber to Primetime, and he is my Boston Celtics update guy. So, again, thank you to him.
What would you do without him?
I wouldn't know what the score is. Got the double-edged sword of broadcasting. I do love it, but I don't get to watch a bunch of other nightlife anymore because I'm always here bringing you these races. So anywhere I can get my information, I'll take it. But now you can see here off of turn 2, the battle for second now heating up with Massey and LaPrade. Casey Shue is behind both of them, but remember, he's already pitted, so he is trying to get around all of these 3 to get onto the lead lap just in case the yellow does fly.
And Briar is pitting now.
Yep, LaPrade to the attention of his crew. It doesn't seem like a very difficult pit road here at Indy. I mean, yeah, it's completely on the straightaway, so, but it can really catch you off guard. It does take, you want to approach it as aggressively as possible, and it does.
Comes up quick.
And yeah, it is very easy to speed and lock up the brakes because you might underestimate how fast you're actually going. So another question in chat asking how we've met, the 3 of us.
iRacing.
Yeah,
iRacing.
Specifically a league at the time known as
Thursday Xfinity, Friday Oval Series / Thursday Xfinity Series. It was a, oh, here comes Bressie to pit road.
Yep, Bressie making his way down on the pit road, and he
You
locks
lock
him
him
up
up
a
a
little bit, but he easily makes the speed. So yeah, 3 of us met, and Evan wasn't here when it was called Friday Oval Series, I don't think. But yeah, Thursday Xfinity Series was when we all kind of got together and we raced with each other. And
yeah, I joined the first season that it was Thursday Xfinity Series.
So yeah, now we're all a team.
And that league is gone, sadly.
Yeah, that league is shut down, unfortunately, but
the memories last, especially when you blow races in Indianapolis on RaceSpot TV.
That was really fun for you. It still hurts, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
that could have been your championship too. Hate to remind you.
No, it wouldn't have been the championship because I blew the chase.
Oh, well.
But Massey still in the lead here, so Bressie Bagunia started the pit cycle around lap 15. Well, actually, technically, I guess Joshua Adams did. So lap 15, and then we had Bressie pit around lap 20. We're expecting the fuel cell to take us about 30 laps, So I'd have to imagine at this point that's what Massey is doing. I feel like anything in between at this point kind of is, it's not really going to accomplish too much.
Yeah, I agree. He got to go at least 5 more laps to make it worth it.
So now through this sequence of events, Tanner Allen is now in the 2nd position. Sean Dower still in 3rd. Dustin Johnson in the 4th position. We haven't talked about him yet, surprisingly.
Yeah, he started back in 14s.
He still is on his original set of tires and fuel. He has yet to come to pit road, and the last car that has yet to pit as well is Chuck Sweeting behind him in what is now the 5th position. Shane Tarrant on track is in the middle of 3 and 4. As reference, Massey is coming into turn 2 now, so about half a lap.
And unfortunately for these guys, as we see, it's not really working too well for them, this strategy. They're kind of stuck with this strategy now.
So it turns into a math game at this point. How much time am I losing every lap? And then how much time am I saving by missing those pit stops? It's going to be a constant cat and mouse game, and we're not going to know how it works out till really the last set of pit stops. But here comes Massey on lap 24.
So right now, Massey and those guys that pitted around lap 24 to 25, they're on a 4-stop strategy. And if the other guys stay on theirs, they'll probably like a 6 or 7, maybe more stop strategy.
And also to note, well, this is going to give the lead to Chuck Sweeting, but Shane Tarrant is only a mere couple seconds behind him that he is rapidly gaining right now.
Yeah.
So Sweeting wasn't up in the lead pack up on pit stop, so it's not a complete even exchange of what's going to work, what's not. But
all right, man.
Caution!
Caution is out.
On the speedway.
Sweeting is so happy about that because he's going to inherit the lead because everyone's going to have to pit pretty much.
Travis Lonace. That changes everything. Looks like he's entering the pits, and what I was talking about before, how easy is it to lock the brakes up entering the pits? It's exactly what happened.
That's also really going to work out for Massey because he didn't go a lot down, so he's going to be able to stay out.
And everybody else is going to end up pitting at this point, so honestly, Chuck Sweeting, give him
that ends the stage, so Chuck Sweeting won that stage.
Yeah, the exact lap, too. 25 coming to 26, so give Chuck Sweeting the points appropriate for winning the stage, and also give him the lucky dog call of the race because he's going to end up inheriting the lead and being able to pit with everybody else.
Well, I think Massey will stay out because he just pitted.
What was the cause of that caution?
It was who did I just mentioned it. Who was it? It was Travis Lonace entering the pits. He locked up the brakes and spun back onto the racing surface.
Oh.
That's usually not what you want.
No.
Yeah, he just locked him up and then wheel hopped when downshifted.
So, and to mention other drivers right now, Bagunia, Adams, Tarrant, those drivers were, if they were going to pit on the same sequence of about 15 laps, they were just coming to a second set of stops before anybody else even made their first set of stops. But this is going to even the playing field back out, except for Nicholas Massey, who will stay out. And we will see pit stops here on lap number 26, coming to lap 27.
He's going to run out of gas.
Which...
Sweeting is clutching it, I think, down pit road.
He is going...
I wonder if he'll get a penalty.
He's out now.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll get a penalty for going through that many pit stalls. I'm not sure if that's a rule in this league or not.
His car was quiet, coming to the attention of his crew.
He told everyone in the league that he was staying to the left because he was going to run out of gas.
So that answers our question that a pit sequence is going to be about 25 laps, so I was only about 5 laps off in my estimate.
Not too bad.
And
So
give
Sweeting is going to win the race off pit road.
Now, I'm not sure what kind of pace he has in relation to those who have been running up front, but he's going to have the track position now, but due to this strategy working out in his favor.
Johnson, Dower, and Massey will be the leaders because they pitted right before that caution came out.
Yeah, each of them have 2 laps on the stint, so now let's stop.
Probably weren't even green flag laps because they're probably just coasting around under caution.
Look at poor Cody Tabor's car.
Oh, he's on chip. C-Tabes.
C-Tabes.
C-Tabes-T-A-P-T-A-B.
Cody Taps.
C-Dash.
Cody Tapper?
Whatever. I cannot spell. So I'm going to stop trying.
Cody T-A-B-Z. Cody Tabes.
Cody Tabes?
Yep.
What? Now I'm confused. Although that doesn't take much.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to confuzzle you.
It's also easy to not be able to speak English.
Yeah.
Looks like the 62 did come down pit road.
Well, that's interesting.
There, I put on the screen C-T-A-B-Z-Z-Z. C-Tabes.
You almost did it again.
Yeah, apparently I just don't know how to say the letter B. So we will take this opportunity while we are pacing these slow laps at Indianapolis to go to the first side-by-side commercial of the day. So stay with us, be right back.
When I was 16 years old, I was working in a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with him one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big fight afterwards. I was like, this is it. This is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went. You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt car, you can't overdrive them. Well, that was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know.
Okay. And welcome back to Primetime Racing TV's coverage of the Hardline Racing Cup Series here at Indianapolis.
Evan taking us back? What?
Well, Corey, you said I was going to do it, and then you didn't finish the countdown, so I figured we were live.
Yeah, a little bit of director miscommunication there.
Props to Evan
Whoopsies.
for taking us back.
I did big things, my dude.
Evan's coming out of his shell.
We'll be seeing more of, hearing more of Evan in the booth here as Brandon takes a little bit of a involuntary hiatus coming up next week. So it'll be me and Evan in the booth for the majority of the races.
Rest in peace is me. But these guys are stacked up, doubled up, and ready to go back green flag racing as the pace car makes its way down into pit road. The 48 machine on.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag back in the air.
Massey gets this race going. Dustin Johnson to the outside. He hasn't been up front yet. Now he has the track position he needs. Let's see what he's able to do with it. But Massey already has a couple car length lead, and we'll see what the drivers who have been up front can do in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, Johnson did not anticipate that start very well. Massey was able to get a huge lead.
Johnson pulling away from the guys behind him, though. Chuck Sweeting, like you guys said, the caution worked out in his favor. He's holding a solid third position right now. And Briar LaPrade right on his back bumper, though.
LaPrade was running in the third position, almost in the second position before all those sequences occurred. He's now all over the back of Chuck Sweeting, trying to get the third position. Won't happen this time by as he lost time off of 4. But Massey seems to be liking this clean air because he's holding a pretty decent gap over Johnson.
Yeah, he had pretty good speed before that. But to have the caution played out, it really helped him. He had pretty good speed before that because he was up there in the top 3 before that happened.
Begunia ducking underneath the 38 of Terran. They're side by side off of turn number 2, almost making contact with one another.
Yeah, they did not give each other a lot of room off 2 at all that time. They really running tight lines, but everyone is doing a good job. Here they go side by side into 3. Begunia will advance himself and clear the position off of Terran.
Yeah, I think Terran just kind of yielded and let him by. He didn't want to go too wide into that corner.
Shane Terran may have a little bit of company from the 88 machine of Josh Adams now, and he's got a mirror full of, well, the same looking car as him.
A little bit of deja vu going on there, but behind this, haven't talked about him yet today, is Tyler Hensley in the 5. He's now looking all over the back of Joshua Adams, but he has to watch out. He has Jonathan Wall in tight pursuit, followed by Bressie.
Yeah, a long line of cars there battling for 5th or 6th.
Oh, Hensley gets loose. Wall looks underneath and they're side by side.
Hensley in the wall on the back straightaway. Cost him some speed there. That'll give Wall the run, and he will clear for what is now the 8th position. And now Hensley has to watch out because he has Bressie hot on his tail.
Yeah, once again, another driver just side drafts the wall down the straightaway.
Bressie right on the back bumper of Hensley now, and Hensley gonna get a run down the front straightaways, taking it side by side with the one machine of Wall.
Yeah, Hensley does not want to give that spot up, and looks like Wall's just going to yield the spot.
Underneath the one machine now, and he's going to be on the back bumper of the 5 car still.
As we come into turn number 2 right now, Hensley's trying to clear Wall. He will clear Wall off of 2. Wall should get enough of a run to clear Bressie. Tyler Hensley going all the way to the inside, trying to break the draft. Wall looks to follow him, leaves the outside open. That might give him a better entry.
Wall bobbing and weaving all the way down. Hensley drifts off the racetrack. They're almost 3 wide.
You don't want to go 3 wide through the chute. That's not going to work. Bressie to the inside of Wall off of 4. This is killing their momentum. It's going to allow Hensley to get a little bit of a lead, but they're still side by side as we approach the stripe.
Yeah, Hensley is loving what he's seeing.
Side by side as Bressie and Wall down the front straightaway. They're going into turn number 1. Bressie will prevail on the low side, it looks like, but Wall trying to hold his ground. He's going to try to cross over Bressie. He's going to cross him over. Now going into turn number 2, Bressie on the high side dives it deep into the corner.
Exciting racing here. This is for the latter half of the top 10. You're not missing too much up front. Massey still holding about a 4/10 lead over Johnson. But and good job by Chuck Sweeting, too, with that track position call, with the pit stop cycle. He's really holding a good line here in 3rd, but he has to watch out. He has Briar LaPrade on his back bumper.
Yeah, Sweeting's doing a really nice job. He was 2nd in practice.
Contact between, sorry to cut you off, contact between Bressie and Wall. Wall ran right into the rear bumper of Bressie. Nice save by the 24 machine.
Yeah, just got into it a little bit.
I'm going to go back here on primetime replay. Just let me know if anything does happen. We're watching this on replay. Wall, yeah, right into the back bumper of Bresci there on corner entry. That is the hardest place to save it. Wall did kind of give him benefit of the doubt there to help them, but again, a great piece of driving by Bresci.
Yeah, Bresci wasn't happy with that move at all. Bresci saves it. Wall had to back off thinking he was going to spin, and that broke Wall's momentum, but he's trying to come back to Bresci now.
And another battle going on with Shu and Kenny. That has been a battle for the majority of this race that is going on still. Shu to the 12th position, excuse me. Now a crossover by Kenny. Oh, almost some contact there off of 4. Kenny kind of drove him up the track there. That'll give Kenny the position, and I'm not sure how Casey Shu's going to feel about that.
Yeah, Shu really drove it in deep into 3 and then just couldn't get the bottom, so the 10 did a crossover and got back by him.
Oh, the Wall got into the outside wall there.
Wall got into the walls?
Yeah.
All right, up to the front here, we have LaPrade to the inside of Sweeting entering turn 3. This is for the 3rd position on the track right now. Sweeting will yield it, move LaPrade into the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Sweeting's doing a really nice job with that track position. He was, like I was trying to say before, he was 2nd in practice, but just didn't put a qualifying time in.
Now let's see what Briar LaPrade can do with your 2 leaders being Johnson and Massey. And I will tell you, Massey has lost his lead. Johnson right up to the back bumper entering turn number 1.
Yeah, he's running around a 1/10 of a second quicker than our leader Massey, but he really backed it off going into that corner and just, I guess, trying to get a better run off.
But as we know, catching is one thing, passing is another, especially here at Indy, where the slightest mistake that you may make is not recoverable. It will cost you some good amount of time. Looks like Johnson did make a little bit of a mistake somewhere, because now he's lost that lead that he once closed in on.
Yeah, Massey's driving in a lot harder than Johnson is and just cannot get down to the bottom.
Oh, it looks like you're going to have a battle for the lead anyways. Massey didn't get the run off the corner that he wanted. Wall got right up to the back bumper once again.
Johnson.
Yeah, that.
But as you said earlier, Brandon, he caught him in the wrong space. He caught him in the middle of the chute, was not able to do anything in 4, had to back off, yield the run, and then ultimately couldn't do anything with that advantage he got.
Coming out of the short chute now, Johnson trying to get to the back bumper of Massey, and looks like he's gonna try to do it. I think they're side by side.
Yeah, Johnson's just barely on his bumper. Johnson got a little bit loose going into the corner. I think Massey was trying to let him go.
He's trying to give him some space on the outside here. Massey fighting aggressively on the outside. Will he be able to clear again? Not quite. Here comes the inside run, but watch out, Briar LaPrade ahead of steam off of turn 4.
Massey got too high off the corner and just did not have the grip and got a little loose.
LaPrade coming up, and he's bringing guys with him now side by side for the 2nd place.
Chuck Sweeting took a shot to the outside there. It's not going to be able to work. Here comes Cole Bagunia. Where did he come from? He's on those 2-lap fresher tires, remember. Now move him to the 3rd position here. Let's see if he can do anything with LaPrade and Johnson.
A gaggle of cars up front. Nick Massey losing a lot of positions now in the 48 machine. 26 trying to make up some ground. He lost a position to Bagunia now, and Bagunia has his eye set on the 12 machine of LaPrade. LaPrade right to the back bumper of your leader now, Dustin Johnson. Lost a little bit of momentum on entrance, but he's going to get a good run on exit.
LaPrade's going to have to make a shot for the lead pretty quick, because if he does not do so, he's going to lose the position to Cole Bagunia, who is now right onto the back bumper, and Chuck Sweeting is not backing off this battle whatsoever.
This is your battle for the lead right now here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. These guys always making it exciting here at the Hardline Racing League, and tonight is no exception.
Tearing to the inside of Nick Massey here. Massey is
Johnson in the wall. As well as LaPrade.
Awesome save on exit, but LaPrade and Johnson both made contact into the wall. That'll hit the lead over to the number 7 machine of Bagunia. Unbelievable.
See here, off of 2. Did not.
The C's just parted for Bagunia to get through.
Johnson only had a little bit of a hit. LaPrade had a pretty good sized one, and then Sweeting and Bagunia able to split the difference there right through the middle.
They're side by side. Johnson and LaPrade are now once again, but it's not for the lead anymore. LaPrade's got a little bit of damage on the right side of his vehicle. He's got to be careful. It could slow him up a little bit.
Yeah, LaPrade's got quite a bit of right front damage there.
He's staying in the draft. His car very loose right now. Now they've got a freight train behind these two guys. Nick Massey in the 48 machine trying to make up some ground, and LaPrade's getting really loose on exit, and Nick Massey's got to be careful. All it takes is one more time for LaPrade to get into the wall.
Guys, I want to bring up, because remember the first set of stops when we were green was about 15 laps. We're approaching 15 laps into the current run. Not sure how these guys are going to play strategy, but we're going to have to watch out for stops anytime now, as here we go, Shane Tarrant to the inside of Massey here, now taking Joshua Adams with him. So Massey goes from having the lead all the way back to 7th right now.
Yeah, that is not at all what he wanted.
Now up front here, let's bring up the primetime battle tracker for the first time today and check out Begunia and Sweeting. Last time by, Sweeting was, I'll bring up an old terminology, a skosh faster than Begunia.
Was it an actual skosh? Or?
Yes, it was about 300s. It was an actual skosh. Some battle going on later in the, well, further back in the pack between the two teammates.
I see smoke back in the pack.
Tyler Hensley is now in the pits.
Yeah, Tyler Hensley, he just got loose coming out of turn 2 and hit the inside wall. He hit it pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunate turn of events for Tyler Hensley. That's going to take him completely out of any contention that he was in. Back up front again on the battle tracker this most recent time by. Let's check it out. Begunia actually was a little bit faster than Sweeting, more than a skosh, about half a 10. But I'll tell you, the battle on track right now that is worth noting is still for about the 4th to 5th position. Joshua Adams making some time, making some presence here. He is now entering the 4th position as he goes underneath LaPrade. His teammate Tarrant trying to sneak down there as well, but here comes LaPrade for a crossover. Not quite happening that time.
Tarrant ducks below the number 12 machine, but not going to make anything happen that time. LaPrade up high in the corner. Tarrant gets a run off. They're side by side.
Tarrant and LaPrade side by side. Massey still sniffing to the back of this battle, and just out of the picture there is Thomas Bressi. Remember, he was showing some shines of strength earlier, still in the 8th position, but we know Bressi to be someone...
really loose. He's going to maybe lose it.
Oh my God, save it, buddy.
Coming back up in front of
save it. On the access road, what
he did it.
How did he save that car?
He's just that daggone good.
We have to go on board and watch him wheel this machine.
That should have been a wreck.
Unbelievable.
He wrecked, but he didn't. I forget, there was a saying. To quote DW, you can't do that.
He's doing it again. He's sideways, now down the access road.
That car is not handling good at all for him.
He's got a lot of damage on that thing. He's bringing it to pit road now.
Not what LaPrade needed, another top 5 run, but I mean, the day is not necessarily done for him, but he's, even with this pit stop and these fresh tires, he lost so much time with those incidents. You can see Johnson there out of the corner of the camera there getting very loose off of 2, so I'd have to imagine pit stops to be right around the corner.
Yeah, I agree. How many laps have they run now?
We have run about between 18 and 20 laps depending on strategy since the last set of stops, so most drivers pit around lap 20 last time in the sequence, so it should be any time. Something we don't go over often enough here in the Hardline Racing Series. We haven't really touched on the point standings very often, so Just as reference, your leader right now, Cole Begunia, is the points leader. He does have an 11-point lead, I'm sorry, a 9-point lead going into today's race over Joshua Adams, and a 13-point lead over Briar LaPrade. So that lead will be significantly gaining if this race stays in its current form.
Yeah, LaPrade's right now he's running in 17th, and we'll see if he can get any more spots.
Shane Tarrant, Dustin Johnson, the top 5. And here comes Johnson spinning out on the front straightaway. That'll throw out the yellow.
Johnson around.
Oh my, here he comes in the middle of the track. Hopefully everyone can get around him. And it was the same kind of wreck we saw with Travis Lonace earlier. He just couldn't, he locked it up on.
What is, Johnson almost collected, Johnson just collected someone else. Reversing it, trying to get it turned around. What is he doing?
See, he got loose off of 4, spun out down the pits, well, spun out almost into the pits, and then in the middle of the track sideways. We're still watching it on replay right now. Casey Shu is coming up, approaching him right now. Shu gets by. And then he just looped it, and LaPrade gets by. Who got involved, Brandon?
That's a good question.
Some false drama on the Mr. Krutz end, and he's sideways off of 2 right now. I don't know what's going on.
Johnson being threatened to disqualification. He's sitting there doing burnouts in the middle of the friggin' track. And
yeah, coming off.
He's saying he has no right rear left, and he's just trying to catch up.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to start drama, but I call crap on that. He just reversed it in front of the whole field and collected more cars.
No one hit him.
No. He just reversed it in front of the field and collected more cars that shouldn't have been involved.
No one hit him, so no one was collecting. No one spun.
Well, no, someone hit the wall in front of him as he reversed it, and it doesn't matter if no one hit him. He reversed it in front of the field, and someone locked up the brakes trying to miss him and hit the inside wall. Definitely something I don't like to see. Especially from someone like Johnson.
But pit stop's underway right now as we're very near the halfway point in this race. Here comes Begunia out of pit road. He will nearly cut off Chuck Sweeting there. Sweeting almost hit the back of him, but Sweeting will come out in second. Begunia in the lead. And Joshua Adams now moving up to the top 3 for the first time today. And we will take this opportunity to go to the next commercial break of the day. We'll be back with you for the restart. Stay with us.
Wanted a semi. Always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it, and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn into a Cup Series, and I actually have an opportunity to own 2 dirt late model teams. When you think of iRacing, you don't think of a video game. It's not. It's way above and beyond any of that. You know, dirt racing changes so much. The track changes so much. Being able to capture that, to experience all those details that surround dirt racing and make dirt racing what it is what makes iRacing so cool, because they did nail all of that. I knew when they came to our shop and scanned cars and went to the detail of getting that car right, I knew that it was going to be over the top, because it blew my mind just the work that went into making sure the car itself was legit. This sport has been around a long time. The competition can't be replaced, and that's what brings people back to the racetrack week in and week out.
And we're back here on PTRTV for what is the restart here, as we have just completed the halfway point in this race. Cole Begunia has the lead, and for the first time today, the leader is taking the outside line on the restart.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the outside lane does.
League officials in Hardline Racing League doing an awesome job keeping track of things, and Johnson, they're keeping a close eye on him now, and this league is very well run, might I say, but
a well-run league.
Yes. So pace car makes a hard left turn at the safety of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway pit road. These guys back on the gas.
Green flag.
With an awesome run from the lead.
And the battle is for second between the two team cars of Adams and Taryn here, still side by side.
Side by side for the second position now, and
aggressive move by Pauly underneath Massey there in turn 2. It's going to wash Massey up the track, and that's going to give Bresci a run down the back straightaway behind both of them.
Jordan Pauly looking to gain some positions now, and looks like, I believe he's looking into the 4th position right now.
Yeah, he's trying to drive it in under 48 with Massey.
Washes up the track here. Got to watch out.
Bresci right onto the back bumper of these guys now, and Jordan Pauly really trying to push his way through underneath Massey.
All the way to the inside line here, trying to break any sort of draft, but Bresci is pushing Massey there into 1, going to help him clear a little bit, and Bresci's going to have a look to the outside here.
Massey drove it in real deep, and I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to maintain on exit, but he was.
Jordan Pauly drifts up the track a little bit. Thomas Bresci looking underneath. Thomas Bresci with a big blink there, though. They're going to be side by side down the back straightaway now.
Here he comes, Bresci with the run here into turn 3. Pauly going to run way out of the groove. The outside does work, but he was well higher than he needed to be there. But he's actually going to hold a decent run there. Maybe have a little bit of a peak off of 4. Not quite.
Pauly now starting to lose some positions. He manages to slip in between the 31 machine.
Tanner Allen scrapes the wall.
Did he side draft the wall?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Again? Yeah, just halfway down the straightaway, side draft the wall.
And Brandon, for the record on the restart, you said this league is, you said this is a well run. You didn't finish the sentence, so I had to finish it for you.
Oh.
It's just a well run.
Yeah.
Well run.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I said this league is well run.
Oh.
I thought.
Well, if you didn't, I still had to give you crap for it. But here comes Tanner Allen to the inside of Pauly here. This is a battle for what is the 6th position. Again, Pauly on the 3rd groove there. That's not elite line I've seen run successfully here at Indy in the past. Didn't work this time.
Casey Shue went to go look underneath, and Pauly shut the door right in his face. Casey Shue is not happy with that one at all.
And you could see the momentum it cost him as he had to back off to avoid incident there. Lost about half a second, and now into the clutches of Sean Dower and Rusty Capel.
Tanner Allen on the wall up ahead once again.
So back up to the front here, just kind of analyzing what's going on. Cole Begunia is now enjoying what is a 4/10 second lead over Joshua Adams, the highest he has been running thus far in the race. Again, with his team car, Shane Tarrant in the 3rd position, remember the pole sitter. So now that Adams is kind of clear of the madness back there, let's see if he has anything for Begunia, and if he has something to maybe get this car in victory circle. Oh, Tarrant into the wall off of 4. Here comes Massey to the inside. And here comes Bresci.
Yeah, Taryn just got in the rumble strip and pushed up the track, and he hit the wall pretty good.
Yeah, quite a bit of damage to the right side of that race vehicle. Bresci
and he's getting loose again.
That seems like a common theme with the right side damage, is getting extremely loose. And he's going to go for a big power slide off of turn number 2.
Bresci joined him in that. Right now, these drivers really power sliding it off of 2 here.
I wonder, are they getting loose, or are they just getting really tight and then it's snapping off the corner?
It's a little bit of both. Doing a little bit of both there with the, as you said, the push loose. You have so much input getting the car to turn, and then when it does turn on corner exit, you have way too much cranked into it, and it loops right around. But something else to note as well, the dynamic track kicking in. You can really tell the line here is starting to darken up as we've run 55, what is now 56 laps around Indy.
So past the halfway point here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Tanner Allen now looking underneath the 38 machine.
Taryn holding off
and
the
they
50.
almost made contact. They both get really loose off the corner. Oh my.
Good piece of driving on both of their parts right now. And to note, we are only 8 laps into this run, and we see so many drivers hanging on for dear life. Again, I wonder how much of that is the track, how much of it is just driving aggressively. But here we go back in the pack now. Dustin Johnson, after that incident on that last couple cautions, he's now in 11th. He has Chuck Sweeting behind him for 12th. Sweeting still, remember, Sweeting had a good run. He was the last to pit on the first caution. That gave him some excellent track position, and he was able to hold it for that entire run in third, but now through the shuffle of events is now out of the top 10. But up front again, the conga line is kind of closing itself back together as time goes by. Begunia does have a little bit of a lead, but we can see Bresci sneaking his way back to the end of this train. The caboose, if you will, I guess, if we're talking about trains.
It's the Indianapolis caboose.
There it is.
There it could possibly be.
Maybe it's over there, I'm not sure.
Fail. I've dropped my my radio. I don't have communication anymore. My radio being my phone. I can't find it. Gotta sound official, right?
What do you have pulled up on it?
Oh, nothing. Important PTR broadcast information.
You're fancy.
Gotta be, bro.
I didn't even realize we were under commercial.
We are?
No, we're live, folks.
Oh.
I didn't think we were.
That would have been the longest commercial in the history of the broadcast, but...
But you guys were talking like we were under commercial, so...
No, we're just, you know...
That's what you gotta do on long green flag runs.
We're known to be entertainers, remember?
Is that what they call us?
You called it that one day. But here comes Bresci here. Let's get back to some actual race commentary. Bresci now to the back of the 48 of Massey here. He will take a peek underneath as we enter turn 3. And Massey will yield the position. So the 24 of Bresci now into the third position and closing on Adams.
Yeah, Bresci was almost half a second quicker than our top 2 last lap.
A 52.42 for Bresci, and actually a 52.4 for Adams, a 52.43 for Begunia. So essentially your top 3 are running identical times, at least as of now.
And Bresci was a little bit quicker, and he passed the car that lap.
That is the impressive part. If you can pass someone and still be fast, you are definitely doing something right. And someone, Shane Taryn, taking it to pit lane here on lap number 60. I think he was in the 8th position.
How many laps had he run?
Right now, the average is, the consensus is about 13 laps. So that is the earliest into a run we've seen anybody pit voluntarily anyways. You can see do turn 2 that time. Bresci really nailed the apex. That gave him the run as Adams missed it a little bit. So now Bresci having a peek down the long back straightaway here, trying to get side by side to clear him in turn 3. And he will do that successfully. So Bresci picking his way through the pack here, but I don't know if Adams is done. Adams right to the back bumper, but he will give him some space and relinquish to the 3rd position.
I think Adams got a little bit loose off the corner and had to give up some of that momentum that he had. It looks like he's trying to get another run in the draft down the front straightaway.
He sucks right up to the back bumper, but he will not do anything with it this time by. So again, kind of had a little bit of a comeback attempt. It failed, so Bresci to 2nd. And let's see, can he do anything with Begunia? Do want to note, Tanner Allen is now to pit road in the 31 machine on lap 62. A little bit of a battle going on here for what is 8th, 7th, and 8th. Jonathan Wall, Dustin Johnson, and then Chuck Sweeting kind of at the back end of this battle. Again, that is from 7th through the 9th position. Looks like Wall was closing for a bit, has kind of fell back a little bit off the 2. Then a little further back, have a couple guys we have not talked about. Give them some moment in the sun today. Kyle Zimmer in the 20 machine, running in the 14th position now by himself. And who else haven't we brought on the air today? Huh? Maybe it was just him. Kyle Souza. I don't think we've mentioned Kyle Souza today. He's running in the 12th position in the number 14 machine behind Rusty Capel here.
Kyle Zimmer in 13th.
And very loose off of 2 that time was Kyle Souza. But back to the front here on lap number 63. As we complete that, we will see who indeed is the faster of the first 2 drivers to see what is going on with this potential lead battle. Bring up the prime time battle tracker yet again, and Bresci had a good 2/10 that time on Begunia. The lead now under 4/10 of a second.
Yeah, Bresci's been running quite a bit faster than our leader Begunia the last few laps.
You can tell Bresci must really have learned a long run strategy with how to drive that car. Run it quick, but save those Goodyear Eagles, because whatever he's doing is definitely putting him in the best position right now. Race summary here today for the Hardline Racing League Cup Series. Easy for me to say. The Brickyard 250 here today. We have had only 2 cautions for 6 laps, so this has been a very clean and green race. We started 21 drivers in the race, still have 19 running on track thus far. And we do have 16 drivers still on the lead lap, Casey Shue in 16th being the last one of those. Right now, the leaders are on lap 17 in their stint since the last pit stop. So, with 35 laps to go, I think the decision is, do you do a 2-stop from here? Do you stretch it as far as you can and try to do this race in 1 more stop?
I think 1 stop is going to win the race, unless, if they go green, I think 1 stop will win the race.
So that'll mean these drivers have to take it about another 12 to 14 laps. You want to get within 24 to go. Remember, we saw, who was that ran out of fuel on the pits? I cannot remember.
20, no. Was it Lonas? No, it was Sweeting, Chuck Sweeting.
And that was on lap 25. So really, you would have to imagine lap 24 is the longest you'd want to, 24 laps is the longest you'd want to stay out.
So how long has our leader been out there?
He's been out here for 18 laps, so you'd have to run 8 more to get into the window, and that's not possible according to our last estimates. So 2-stop race it is.
Unless you save a little bit.
That would be a lot of it.
34 laps
I
to
don't think
go.
that's happening.
He'd need to run 8 more, which puts him at about 26 laps.
So
And,
you'd have to save 2 laps.
and considering Sweeting ran out on 25 under caution, which meant he probably only ran about 23 green.
So he needs to save 3 laps.
3 laps, and at this step, he would have had to start from the beginning of the run. There's no way you're saving 3 laps at this point as the run closes, so 2 stops it is, I think.
What if they save those 3 at the start of the next run?
Then it is going to be a very terrifying last run to manage that fuel cell, but it's possible, and we like drama.
And Brescia has caught our leader, Begunia.
I'm going to take a stab at something right now.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
As
boy.
soon as Bresci takes the lead, which is going to be probably by the end of this lap, as soon as he does, Begunia ducks to the pits.
Bretzi with a huge blink there as well.
And I think you're right, Corey.
Wait, repeat that?
It was hard enough to say it once. Don't make me say it again, please.
Okay, fair enough. I think all of us in the audience, including myself here in the booth, heard it. Corey was right.
We have audio and video proof,
We
Corey.
have the technology.
Yes.
A phrase that I don't know the origination of, but I like saying. But that last lap, Begunia did a good job holding Bresci in his tracks. Managed to hit all of his apexes and keep the lead the same. As we are on lap 21 in the stint right now, so
Guys really have to come in soon.
yeah, the estimation 2 to 3 laps in 3 laps apparently would be stretching it from what we saw earlier.
Corey,
Evan,
we have the technologies from the $6 Million Man.
10-4. I will watch that movie on Netflix tomorrow night. Not a big movie guy.
I'm there with you.
I'm not there with you.
Begunia
got a huge run out of 4.
Yeah, Begunia had quite the wiggle, so this time by, Bresci, is he going to duck underneath for a move entering 1? No, he's going to bump draft him into 1, and will stay in line, but he's going to get a good run through 1. Again, he's
got a little loose.
And Bresci was blocked there, couldn't do anything in the chute. Can he make a dive underneath off a 2 down to the back straightaway? And there he goes. Side by side for the lead, the 24 of Bresci. For those
I think he's going to clear him.
For those Gordon.
Bresci has the advantage down on the low side, but Begunia gonna try to fight up high.
How many times can we cut Corey off?
Yeah, because Corey's going to talk about Jeff Gordon, so carry on. Now, what's Begunia going to do? Is he going to fight it on the outside? Yes, he is.
Side by side, no, not quite. Begunia somehow manages to clear
And the 2
on the
behind
high
coming to
side.
pit road. Joshua
Might have
Adams.
missed it, maybe.
Nick Massey, I believe he did miss the pits. Go
Yeah,
back
he's going to lose a ton of time.
Gonna go back and watch that very quickly. He locked the brakes up, and a very evasive maneuver to miss the cone and kind of abort that stop. Otherwise, he would have had a speeding penalty or a wreck. So I guess he will take...
really didn't lose a whole lot of time, though. Only lost 1 or 2 spots.
So 29 laps to go here at Indianapolis. We're 23 laps into the stint. We cannot imagine these guys can go more than 2 laps left. 2 laps more. It is going to make it absolutely dreadfully close on fuel. And here come your 2 leaders. Can they successfully make it onto pit road?
Maneuver.
Oh, Bresci locked it up.
Side by side coming into pit road. Never thought I'd say that before.
Not even sure if that's legal here in the league, but we will see that. Usually side by side down pit road is frowned upon. But regardless, here they come down the pit lane. Bresci to the inside, Begunia to the outside. Bresci should have the first pit stall, so it shouldn't cause any conflict. There he pulls off. So which pit crew is going to deserve a raise in their pay and who deserves to get fired? We will find that out.
If it's my pick, they get
Massey, he did make it into the pits this time, but he overshot his stall, had to back up, so... And give the buddy to Begunia's crew that time by. Bresci had a 1.1 second slower pit stop, which equates on track to that distance, whatever that is. But Begunia did not get off the access road here. That's going to allow Bresci to eat that advantage he lost right back up. Begunia got really loose off the turn 2 access road there. Kind of clipped a little bit of the grass. That gave up some of the advantage he had. Now Bresci doesn't have as much time he has to make it back up. Now Dustin Johnson is now your leader right now. I don't know if he has more fuel in the cell, but the longer he stays out, the more padding in the bank he has that he will be able to make it on one more stop.
Yeah, so the top 8 have not pitted yet.
And just
Shane Tarrant is the first and 9th, and he pitted about 10 laps ago.
Jonathan Wall has one less lap on his fuel cell than Johnson, so I would expect Jonathan Wall and Chuck Sweeting and Kenny and Souza to be able to go longer than anybody else. So I expect them to be able to go at least 2 more laps, and that 2 laps should guarantee them to make the end of the race.
Yeah, because they're on lap 74 now, so they only need to go around 2 more laps.
And again, we are on the assumption we saw Chuck Sweeting run out of fuel on lap 25 on the first set of stops. So that's what we're basing our fuel mileage on. It's about 24 to 25 laps. Your 2, Cole Begunia and Bresci pitted with about 27 to go. So that is going to be a stretch based on what we know. And Johnson will stay out one more time.
I see someone's in the chat asking where Chuck Sweeting is. He is in 3rd right now.
Yeah, Sweeting here, yep, in the 3rd position.
But we'll have to pit.
He's running about 6 seconds off of Johnson.
He's shutting off into the corners.
At this point, you can really hear him pedaling this. Let's listen to him in 3 and 4.
He's shutting down way early.
Yeah, he's really trying to save it. If he can make it this, I think he should be fine now. 24 laps based on what we know. Here he comes this time by. Can he make it successfully on the pit lane?
Oh,
yes.
Someone locking up their brakes behind him big time.
The car behind him is the one of Jonathan Wall.
Wow, he tried to make up a bunch of time, almost lost it coming to pit road.
See, on replay, he did a heck of a job to keep that thing straight. I'll give him props on that.
That'll hand the lead over temporarily to the 26 machine of Chuck Sweeting. Chuck Sweeting still has to come to pit road.
And again, to reiterate, at this point, everybody pitting from now on, I think they can go 100% full bore to the finish. However, Cole Begunia and Thomas Bresci, who are currently 7th and 8th, I'm having to imagine they're going to be really tight, if not having to splash and go. Off of 4, let's see if Sweeting comes down the pit lane. He will come to the pits. Let's see if he enters safely. A little bit loose, but he does make it. Who's that car coming in like a speed bullet behind him? Robert Kenny. A speed bullet, yes. Not a slow bullet, a speed bullet. Oh, I'm getting off the hook with that one, wow. Temporary lead now turned over to Tanner Allen. The battle is behind him right now. Begunia and Adams, Begunia and Adams, now Bressi has dropped back to 4th. Adams has made some time back up. Adams is going for what should be the lead after Tanner Allen pits. And Tanner Allen stays out one more lap.
Yeah, I'm still here, Corey, but the truck race is really good. So sorry about that.
At least I had an excuse for not talking. As you can hear, my throat kind of went to crap.
But here we come. I'm not sure how long Allen's planning on staying out, or how long he physically can stay out if he's perhaps maybe waiting on the caution flag. And actually, he has another 8 laps in that fuel cell. He's only 16 laps into this run.
Yeah, I see Sweeting. He pitted and he's still saving. So he is not confident that he can make it.
But here comes
Tanner Allen is coming to pit road this time.
And Bressi and Adams side by side behind that.
Tanner Allen almost got hit there coming to pit road.
Now I want to lose. He locked him up.
I want to go on board here and watch Chuck Sweeting and kind of confirm what you guys were talking about.
He's probably not going to do it, and then we're on board with him.
Of course. Through turn 4 here. Sounds
we'll see better once he gets into turn 1.
Alright, after more tea, I think my throat should be okay for the rest of the broadcast. Sorry about going silent.
Oh
there,
yeah,
guys.
he's clutching it from the start finish.
Wow.
So again, he pitted what we thought would be with plenty to spare, but clearly not, or he's just really playing it that conservatively.
That really could be the winning strategy, what he's doing now.
That's one way to save a lot of fuel.
Now remember, Begunia, Adams, Bressi, they all pitted 8 laps ago at this point. They pitted.
They cannot make it
with 28 to go. And just confirming, you do have to start the race with a full fuel cell. I'm confirming that, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so if Sweeting ran out, on lap 25, and look how hard these guys are going. There's no way they're going 28 laps.
Yeah, I agree.
So going by this logic, I'm just kind of going down my graphic here. The first guy that should be in good position is Dustin Johnson in the 7th position right now. He pitted 4 laps ago on 76. And then behind him, Rusty Capel, he's in the same boat as the leaders. Sean Dower pitted 6 laps ago, so that'll give him, what, 26 laps to the end. And then Chuck Sweeting, he has the most fuel on board of anybody right now. But the difference between Sweeting and Johnson is about 8 seconds on track right now.
I would like to let everyone know that Sweeting has stopped clutching it, so maybe he realized that he won't be able to save it as much fuel as he thought he would.
Or maybe he's already done enough.
Maybe.
Because he was doing that before he pitted, and he did it for a little bit after. He might have already saved enough.
That's true, he could have.
But Bressi is not in any kind of fuel conservation mode. He's really going for it now to get to Begunia. Adams has dropped off quite a ways. That time by, Bressi got a pretty good run on Begunia. He's pretty much eliminated the entire gap that did exist prior. And Begunia really missed the bottom that time. That's going to allow Bressi to even close further. Bressi is there. Battle a little bit further on in the pack. Sean Dower passes Rusty Capel. That is for the 8th position.
Hey, we got Ray Black Jr. in the chat.
Ray Black Jr. was in the NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series race last Sunday at the Texas Motor Speedway. Right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure before I overboast his credentials right there. $18 laps to go here in the Brickyard on Primetime Racing TV, the Hardline Racing Cup Series. 2 cautions for 6 laps. This race has been clean and green with only a couple blemishes on its record here. Here comes Thomas Bressi. Tried to take a look in 3. Did not happen. We have 18 laps to go. Coming to 17, and we are going to have a fuel mileage battle on our hands, folks. To summarize, we do not expect your top, really your top 5. We do not expect them, top 6 for that matter, we don't expect them to be able to finish on their current fuel load. What we believe right now, us in the booth with our amazing brains and strategy, we expect Dustin Johnson to be the prime beneficiary right now in the 6th position. He has the 2nd most fuel load of anybody, and Chuck Sweeting having the most fuel of anybody.
We have brains.
On a good day.
Once again, folks, sorry if I'm leaving Corey to do all the talking. My throat has decided that I wanted to give out for the night.
And the truck race decided to get exciting. That's my excuse.
And here comes Bressi to pit lane with 17 laps to go. Bressi clearly decided he was not going to make it and is going to split this run up. Massey behind him pitting as well. So they have relinquished any chance to obviously make this race. This is going to put Johnson in the money spot, I believe. I have to imagine Baguni is going to follow suit pretty soon.
This leads me to wonder if Chuck Sweeting's strategy is going to work out.
I kind of think it will. If he's saved enough,
but
I think it'll work.
But remember, guys, he has to beat Dustin Johnson. Johnson should be able to make it. Right now, the gap between Johnson and Sweeting is about 5.9 seconds.
And even if he can't beat Johnson for the win, it'll get him into a way better position than he would have been before.
Exactly.
Good call by Sweeting. Absolutely, if this works out.
Cole Bagunia still on track right now. Remember, he should not be able to make it on fuel. Bressi already relinquished position. He's now down to 13th, battling with Bressi, battling with Massey. Massey did only take 2 tires and fuel on his stop. Bressi did take full 4 tires and fuel.
He took full 4 tires.
It's been a long broadcast of green flag racing. My throat's going itself, but we still have to prevail for 15 more laps around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The 14 machine of Kyle Souza heading a 4th lap down.
And he just side drafted the wall as well.
Hey Corey, we got Mike Joy too.
Yeah, Darrell Waltrip the other day. When's Jeff Gordon coming by?
Yeah.
Mikey Waltrip, you can stay. Take your bets, folks, in chat. Who's going to make it? Is Bagunia going to stretch it beyond belief? Is Dustin Johnson going to be able to clutch it through? Is Sweeting going to come by with his the most fuel on board? Who's it going to be here, folks? Cast your bets. There's 14 laps to go at the Brickyard. Well, I guess this would be a good time to go to tell our picks, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to go with the underdog, or is that just for last race?
That's just for Wednesday.
All right, so Dustin Johnson wins.
Chuck Sweeting.
We will allow duplicates, Evan. Well, I will anyways.
You will what?
Allow duplicates.
That's no fun.
Okay, fine. No duplicates. Dustin Johnson has a couple followers in chat believing he will make this race on fuel. The gap between him and Sweeting, which was once 6 seconds, is now down to less than 5. Sweeting only gaining about a 10th or so a lap, so it will take something radical for that gap to deteriorate.
Bagunia still on the racetrack holding this race to his own.
So we have to think right now. Bresci obviously called his shots earlier, 5 laps ago, that he was not going to make it. Is Bagunya A going to try to make this, or B just going to do a splash and go with, like, say, 3 laps to go?
I don't see any way Bagunya can make it, but he might be trying to do a splash and go.
Because that'll be a
the best strategy
20,
for him.
that should be, according to my amazing mathematics, be about a 29 lap run to the end. And we don't think you can go more than 25, so, and he's obviously not saving anything right now. Joshua Adams is now a 2.5 seconds behind in the 2nd position. He should be in the same boat as Bagunya. We have Jordan Pauly in 3rd, again on that same boat. Johnson, who we believe to be the money man right now, in 4th. And I guess the extra money man would be Chuck Sweeting in 5th, with the caveat of being 4 seconds behind. 4 seconds behind, that is Dustin Johnson.
Hey Corey, Jeff's here. Jeff Gordon.
Oh, what do you know?
He's pulling for the 24.
Who's left? Larry Mack? I'll tell you, that 24, I had my money on him earlier, and the last time Jeff Gordon did see victory lane at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it was in what I believe to be this exact color, this exact paint scheme.
Whoever's just making these channels, I give them props.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, so again, we just need a Larry Mack now. Mikey can stay, with all respect. I don't need the grid walk.
So out front of this thing, Cole Bagunya is still holding his own, becoming to 10 laps to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard here in Indianapolis.
Struggle with that one?
Yeah. My mind decided that I wanted to stop for a second.
I could do the elaborate statements today if you prefer. And I do want to focus on what I believe to be the battle for the win between Johnson and Sweeting. The gap is now under 4 seconds. So Sweeting has chopped a little bit further off, not anything of significance, but is technically a little bit faster at this juncture. And with this race essentially being a green flag race with the marring of a couple cautions, what are the odds that old Mr. Yellow Flag makes his extremely unlikely appearance here in the last 10 laps?
I don't think
it's I think this race is going to stay green.
You may have just jinxed it.
And just to bring it up for the sake of information, we believe the iRacing cutoff lap, as I like to call it, should be about 5 laps to go, where if it comes out after that, the race will not be restarted under green flag conditions.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
A yellow
you
flag.
jinxed it. See what you did, Evan? I blame Evan on that one.
You blame Evan?
Yeah.
It's Jordan Pauly off of turn number 2.
Evan's the one that said that the caution wasn't going to come out.
And it was off of the bumper of Dustin Johnson, it looks like.
Yeah, he got a little bit loose.
Off of 2, Johnson had a head of steam. Pauly got loose, and yeah, that was not Dustin Johnson's
not
making.
happy with that, with Pauly at all right now.
Yeah, Johnson was just the mere bystander in that. Pauly got loose and just.
So
that takes
what do these guys do?
You have to
Bagunia's out
pit.
front of this thing.
Pit.
You have to pit. Bagunya
Yeah.
just got the magic wand waved for him right now.
Johnson has a lot of damage on his race vehicle now.
Yeah, Bagunya just got the magic wand waved because you have to pit. Bagunya has to pit. He's been out for 22 laps. We're going to have 3 to go, approximately, maybe 4 to finish this race out. You have to pit right now. No, whether for fuel, 4 tires. The only person that may have the rights to play any kind of strategy, I think Bresci, he's only been out for 8 laps. He might be able to take 2, but I don't see much else than that. So I guess I shouldn't have said anything, should I? Well, I guess I really didn't say anything. I just said, well, what if? So I don't blame myself for that at all. But down pit road for what will be the final time today. We will track these pit stops. These are the money stops. Who's going to take 2? Who's going to take 4? You got to do something. Cole Bagunia definitely is going to need at least a couple gallons of fuel in that machine. You can see the serious damage on the front of Dustin Johnson's car after that contact with Jordan Pauly. And we will see who does what on the pit stop tracker. Anybody
like 4 tires for everyone, maybe.
Anybody take a 2. Bressie did take 4. He was the one that I thought may play some strategy call, but no. Everybody takes 4. So we will catch our breaths here, get ready for what should be a very exciting final restart. So we'll be back with you momentarily.
I grew up in Northern California. My parents were just really big race fans and took my sister and I to, sprint car races pretty much every Friday and Saturday night. So I did outlaw kart racing from 7 till I was 14. And then that's when I got into 360 and 410 wing sprint cars.
And we're back here on Primetime Racing TV. These guys will get stacked up, doubled up, and ready for what should be the final restart of the night. Dustin Johnson, oh my, he's up front, and what is going to happen with that amount of damage on his race vehicle?
He's going to stack up the inside.
I think he'll be okay. As long as he has no engine damage, I think he'll be okay getting up to speed, but once they do get up to speed, he will be out to lunch.
He won't get all the way up to speed.
But he should be okay at least till turn 2. But heading down the back stretch, he'll probably get freight trained.
So who are you taking?
Adams.
My pick holds.
Did you say Colch?
Oh, I said my pick holds.
I don't remember who your pick was.
Sweeting.
I'll take Begunia then.
Who would? I love
Will
how
we make it to the end?
I do
That's
love how
question.
the actual leader of the race was the last one picked.
Yeah.
I guess we're not going for the obvious choices, eh?
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey.
Again, Begunia deciding to go on the outside line.
Seemed to be working for him, so...
Well, as long as he can get that jump, which he has been getting, it's kind of line indifferent, because he's been clear well before the start-finish line.
So will they go green to the end?
We did not go green on Wednesday night. We had a wreck on the restart, so let's see if we can do better tonight on the Friday night broadcast of the Cup Series here on the Hardline Racing League on PTRTV. Pace car taking the left turn onto pit lane for the final time tonight. We wait for Begunia to get the race underway, and there he goes. Gets that jump that he has been getting. Green flag in the air.
Johnson got a really good start. He's about to go 3 and wide.
Johnson takes a look to the inside, but with that lack of power under that machine, I don't know if it's going to work, but he's going to be side by side for second, and he's going to clear, bumps him up the track, a little bit of contact, but Dustin Johnson into second.
2 wide behind him now between the 26 and the 88. 26 on the low side. Pressy looking to take a 3 wide.
Car in the wall, Sean Dower.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
That's the race,
out.
folks.
Begunia won.
62 machine, Sean Dower, heavy contact with the side wall. Almost went up and over.
Tanner Allen just pushed up on him.
Sean Dower, yeah, Tanner Allen pushed up.
Yeah,
Sean
there's a
Dower,
check
heavy
up in
contact.
front with Sweeting and Adams and Bressy, and then underneath Tanner Allen dove it to the bottom, but he missed the apex and pushed him into the wall. Dower spun very quickly down the back straightaway. Luckily, everyone did evade him. But that will do it. I can't see us getting this race restarted, so it should end behind the iRacing.com pace car. And this will be a sweeped weekend, if I remember correctly, for Cole Begunia. Did I remember correctly?
Remembered correctly.
Yeah.
He swept the races.
And in my opinion, Johnson got a lucky break of that front end damage. Finishing second on the night. I think if that thing would have gone green, he would have gotten past.
Yeah, I didn't think when he made that move, even on the opening restart, I didn't think he was going to have enough to power side by side, but he made it work kind of.
I think the little bit of contact that was made between those two drivers helped him a little bit. But, yeah, definitely good effort by Johnson.
We were told in chat prior to this that Dustin Johnson, if he did get an interview position, he will be the first interview because he has a very early day tomorrow, and I know how that feels, so we will try to evade the post-race commercial and get this race broadcast as quickly wrapped up as possible once we hit the checkers. But there are 2 more pace laps around Indianapolis before we get to that point. Yep, and that was the dagger. There was a very slim, near impossible chance we would have got this race restarted, but that is indeed the confirmation. So the final race wrap-up would be 4 cautions for what should be 14 laps after this is all said and done. Cole Begunia was assuming nothing far-fetched happens in the next lap and a half, will be your winner. Dustin Johnson in second, Joshua Adams in third, Chuck Sweeting in fourth, and Thomas Bressy We'll round out the top 5 tonight. We will get you the rest of the official lineup as we do take the checker. But all in all, that was I mean, unfortunately, it didn't end the way that it looked like it was going to end with the green flag flare, but that was a very good race put on by these Hardline racing drivers.
Yeah, a lot of green flag racing.
Would have been very interesting to see how that fuel strategy would have played out. That was a bit of a disappointment.
It was going to be Johnson or Sweeting.
The world may never know now.
And who knows, they could have both run out and we would have had an upset win.
Yes, that Sweeting stopped saving fuel. That either meant that he saved enough or he knew he couldn't make it.
Yep.
The white flag will come out at the blistering speed of 75 miles an hour here at Indianapolis. Rip to those cones there on the inside.
I like killing those cones.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little entertainment to buy this time by. Again, once this race is over, we will immediately jump to interviews to wrap up the broadcast. We have a couple drivers that need to exit the track as quickly as possible, so stay with us. We will not take you to commercial break. I'm sure you're happy to hear that. So off turn 4 for the final time, again at pacing speed. Cole Begunia in the 7, who had a very good race, led 62 laps of the 100 that will have been completed here today for the Hardline Racing Cup Series at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We give our congratulations to Cole Begunia as he sweeps the week here for the Hardline Racing League and wins at Indianapolis Motor Speedway here tonight. And he's side drafting the wall.
That's a little bit more than a side draft.
So again, we will get going with the post-race show right away here today. Your top 3 here tonight being Begunia, Johnson, and Adams. And we'll take, very quickly, we will have an interview with the 3rd place finisher, Joshua Adams.
Joshua Adams, Primetime Racing TV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you.
So we saw a race that had quite a bit of green flag run at the beginning and then a few cautions there at the end. And how was your race for you?
Well, I got better the further the race went. I wasn't very good on the first couple of runs, and then it kind of started coming to me, and I had a shot to win there at the end, so I was kind of surprised with myself.
Yeah, we saw you kind of started qualified in the mid-pack, and you're able to get up there and race for the win. Do you think if that caution didn't come out, do you think you could have got up there and won the race?
You never know. I'm definitely glad the second to last caution came out, because I was probably going to end up outside the top 10, but I didn't get the best restart there, so I probably wouldn't have been able to win on the 5 or 6 to go or something, but I was definitely better than I thought I was going to be.
So how was that car handling out there? It looked like a lot of people were getting a little bit tight and stuff.
It was definitely tight and loose. It'd go in tight to 3 especially, but it'd get kind of loose off of turn 1. And really 2, I was kind of fighting the wheel off of 1 and 2 most of the night.
Alright, congrats on your finish. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just my sponsors, iBog Power, Evil, my teammates, Cody for putting on the league, you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's all pretty great.
Alright, thanks for talking with us. Congrats on your finish.
Thank you.
Alright, and unfortunately we lost the opportunity to talk to Dustin Johnson. He really did have to go, so he was not able to stay around long enough for us to talk to him. So this will give us the winner, Cole Begunia. Cole Begunia, PTRTV, got a copy.
Got a copy.
Alright, so you sweep the weekend here at Indianapolis, and very clean and green race for the most part, and pit strategy was going to be the determining factor. So how was your fuel mileage situation going to play out if that yellow didn't come out?
I was going to have to pit with about 5 laps to go or so, and after leading however many laps I led, being out front all day, that was going to be the most painful loss of my iRacing career, so I'm glad that yellow came out.
Yeah, sometimes you got to be lucky and good, and looks like you caught that break there today. How was the track conditions here at Indianapolis? We saw the outside line. You chose that quite a few times on the restart. How was that for you, and well, how was the handling overall?
The race, when the track didn't have much rubber, pretty tight at the start. Once it rubbered up, I mean, it was tight if you didn't drive it right, but you could get the wheels spinning coming off the corners on the long runs. So I've had a ton of fun driving it. Like I said on Wednesday, this is not a track I particularly like, but apparently I'm good at it. And then those restarts, I just took the outside, not really for, it wasn't really for just an advantage, I guess. I was looking at the drivers behind me and who I felt like I wanted to race into turn 1, who I had a better chance of being quicker than, so that's why I just chose the outside a couple of times there in those restarts.
Yeah, so that worked out for you. Ended up obviously sweeping the weekend. You'll extend your points lead as you finish a couple spots ahead of your nearest competitor, Josh Adams. So who do you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Just got to give a shout out to whoever wrecked to bring out that yellow that let me have a chance to win it.
Alright, that was a determining factor for you. So again, congrats on your win. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thanks for having the broadcast.
That was your winner, Cole Begunia. So we will wrap tonight's broadcast up. We'll get you your finishing results here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. With your win, as we just spoke to, was Cole Begunia in the 7 machine. Congrats to him for sweeping the weekend today in the Cup and Contender Series. Dustin Johnson second with the lucky break with that last caution. Then rounding up the top 10, Josh Adams, Tom Bressie, Tanner Allen, Robert Kenny, Jonathan Wall, Nick Massey, Casey Shue, and Rusty Capel.
And then Kyle Zimmer in 11th, Shane Taryn in 12th, then Kyle Souza, Chuck Sweeting, Sean Dower, Jordan Pauly, Briar LaPrade, Travis Flonis, Tyler Hensley, Joe Holloway, and then Cody Tabor rounding out the field in 21st, 89 laps down.
I do want to note here, Cody Tabor, our overlay graphics have a little bit of issues to them. Cody Tabor's lap speed was 38,000 miles an hour.
He should have won.
Anyways, Brandon, take it away with sponsors, and we'll call it a night here on Prime Time.
Air Movement Fabrications, Nottingham's choice for custom signs, designs, repairs, and all things metal. Visit them online at airmovefabs.co.uk or find them on Facebook. Air Movement Fabrications, an official partner with PTRTV. Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, hero cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is the motorsports design specialist. Other partners on the channel include iBog.co Overlay Graphics. He's been a huge help on the channel. Go check him out. And also Tabor Web Design. Check out his work at PrimetimeRacingTV.com.
So that's the week on Primetime Racing TV for the Hardline Racing Series, again swept by Cole Bagunia. We want to we'll congratulate him on his wins, and we want to thank you for watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed, much appreciate if you do so. Things are very busy on Primetime Racing TV. We'd like to have you with us every week, every broadcast. So again, signing out in the booth is Corey Silva, Evan Black, and Brandon Krutz. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night, everybody.
See you next time.